Oh, hey. Didn't know you were in here. How's it going? I just had so much extra time on my hands because this thing was so easy to build. I thought I'd catch a quick nap. But anyways, if you guys want to know how to build this, I got free plans in the description below, so check those out. I built this entirely out of cedar fence pickets. It was super easy to make. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did this entire video. And if you want to build this for yourself or build it to sell to other people, like I said, download those free plans and sell as many as you can, make as many as you want. I hope it helps you out. But before we get started, if you guys would be so kind as to subscribe and like this video, it really helps the channel out. Allows me to make more videos just like this. We got a lot of cool builds coming up here, especially with the spring approaching. I'm gonna go ahead and climb out of here and then we'll get to building this thing. Also, if there's any questions about how strong this thing is, since we're only using 1 3/4 legs all the way around it, I do have a little bit of a weight test at the end of the video, so stick around for that. This thing is plenty strong for you to fill entirely with dirt, water, put 3 big tomato plants in it. It's gonna do just fine. For this project, we're gonna use a total of 15 cedar fence pickets. These are going for about $3.48 right now, so you can build this whole thing for around 50 bucks. All the tools and supplies I use in this video to build this planter box, I will have linked in the description below. I would recommend buying at least 1 or 2 extra fence pickets. I myself made a couple miscuts while filming this video, so it would have been nice to have some extra boards on hand. Also, if you're wondering, I ratchet strap them together to keep them straight. These boards tend to warp pretty quickly after you take them home from the store. I couldn't get to them for a couple of days, so surprisingly, they stayed very straight doing this. So first, we're gonna cut all of the sides of the box and the bottom pieces. We're gonna use 6 fence pickets for the long sides and a total of 4 boards for the short sides. First, I like to cut off the factory edge and then make my measurement. I'm gonna cut 6 fence pickets at 56 inches, and these are gonna be for the long sides of the box. You're gonna wanna hold on to at least one of the scrap pieces from these 56-inch cuts. This is gonna be used for the spacers when we attach the trellis later in the video. So now we're gonna move into the short side and bottom pieces of the box. We're gonna use 4 total pickets for this. This is pretty easy. We're gonna cut a total of 16 17-inch, not 17 16-inch, but 16 17-inch side and bottom pieces. Once you get a good accurate cut on several of the boards, you can use one of the boards as a template so you don't have to pull the tape measure out every time. Just use that, line it up, make sure the ends are flush. And again, you're going to use 4 fence pickets to cut 16 17-inch side and bottom pieces. I could have stacked all 4 pickets on top of each other and made all these cuts. I just wasn't thinking at the time, but if you want to speed up this process, just stack all 4 pickets up at once if your saw can handle it, and you can make all your cuts a lot faster this way. Now that I have all the side and bottom pieces for the box cut, I'm going to pull out my table saw and cut a total of 5 fence pickets. We're going to rip these down at different measurements. The first one we're going to start with, we're going to set the table saw to 1 3/4 of an inch. We're going to rip 4 fence pickets at this measurement. This is going to make up the legs, the top trim, the vertical trellis pieces, and the support ledges. I like to make a total of 3 passes per board whenever I'm ripping down these fence pickets. You're going to get a very thin sliver at the very end like you see here, but this will make sure everything looks nice and everything is the exact same measurement. Now we're going to take our final fence picket and I'm going to adjust the table saw, set it to 1.5 inches. We're going to rip once down this board at 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to set the table saw to 5/8 of an inch, and I'm going to cut 5 strips at this measurement. This is going to make up the rest of the horizontal trellis pieces. And with those cuts made, I'm going to take 3 of my 1 3/4 pieces, the 1.5 inch piece, and the 5/8 inch pieces. I'm going to take these and set them off to the side for right now. This is everything you're going to need to build the trellis after the box has been made. We're going to take the rest of the 1 3/4 pieces over to the miter saw. I actually messed this step up. This is exactly why you want to have a couple extra fence pickets on hand. I accidentally was making this for dimensions of the last box that I made, and I cut 10 to 16 inches. I ended up painting them, letting them dry, and when I took them over to put them on, I wasn't even close, and I realized that I completely messed it up. So I had to go back to the store, get some more fence pickets, and go back to ripping a few down on the table saw. But no worries, we got through it. Just make sure you always measure twice, cut once, and keep referring back to those plans as much as you need to. So after cutting 10 21-inch leg pieces on the miter saw, you're gonna have 2 leftover scrap pieces that are shorter for the top trim. Then you're gonna take 2 of your 1 3/4-inch strips, and those are also gonna be for the long side of the top trim. This step is completely optional. You don't need to paint your leg or trim pieces, but if you're going to, right now is the time to do it. I like to paint them all before I assemble the box. This saves a lot of time. You don't have to spend time masking and painting later. I'm using some Behr Outdoor Deck and Furniture Stain in the color charcoal, and I'm gonna give my top trim pieces and all of the legs a nice thick coat of this. Once I get everything covered, I've decided to add a special segment to all of my videos whenever I paint, and it's called Watching Paint Dry with Jordan, where you get to watch the entire paint drying process with me, because I know that you watching paint dry with me is more important than anything else you have to do today. So I hope you enjoy. No, I'm just kidding. I know you're busy, your time is valuable, so let's move on to the paint being dry, and we're gonna start assembling this box. So now I'm gonna take 3 of my 56-inch long side pieces. I'm gonna get my 18 gauge brad nailer. We're gonna be using 1-inch brad nails and Titebond 3 for attaching all of the boards on this box. Titebond 3 is waterproof, so I definitely would recommend doing Titebond 3 instead of 1 or 2. And now I'm going to work on getting all of the 21-inch by 1 3/4-inch leg pieces attached to the long sides of the box. We're gonna use all 10 leg pieces in this step. So first, we're going to put some glue down, take one of the 21-inch leg pieces, and put it flush up against the edge of all 3 of the 56-inch long side pieces. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, putting the glue down and putting 3 18 gauge 1-inch brad nails per board. Once we get those 2 leg pieces on, I'm gonna flip it over on its side, apply glue all the way down, even to the bottom of the leg, and then I'm gonna take another leg piece, put it flush against that first leg piece that I put on, and nail it down. Pro tip here, the more you scowl at your nail gun while driving nails in, the more accurate the nails will go in and the harder they stay. Yeah, it's a little known fact, but no, I'm kidding. I'm not really sure why I'm scowling so hard here. It's just my look of concentration, so don't mind me. Once we get that side done, I'm gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. Putting on plenty of glue, adding those brad nails, and making sure that that leg is flush to the other leg piece. Oh, and don't forget to scowl at your nail gun. Once we have one side done there, we're going to grab the other 3 56-inch long side pieces, and we're going to do the exact same thing, adding the 21-inch leg pieces to both sides using glue and nails. And something I forgot to do on the first side was add the center leg support. I'm just gonna get a center mark using my tape measure to make sure everything is lined up on the top and the bottom, and then add glue and nail it down. We're gonna flip it on its end like we did the other side and add the glue, line up that other leg piece and nail it down. We're gonna flip it over, do the same thing to the other side. Then I went back and added the center leg support to the other side, and so both sides should look just like this. Now we can move on to the short side panels. I found that assembling these on the floor made it a lot easier. I just leaned the long sides up against the table while I added glue to that inner ledge. Then I took 3 of my 17-inch side panels, starting with the top one, making sure that top was flush. I was more worried about the top being flush, even if there was a gap or overhang on the bottom. So I lined that top one up first, add the other 2 boards, and then nail them in. For the inside of this box, I wanted a little extra support, so I put 4 nails per board. And since this box will be sitting outside and holding a little extra weight, I'd rather err on the side of having too much glue than not enough. If you do have some squeeze out, don't worry about it. At the end, I go over with a sandpaper, and if you need a chisel, just to lightly knock off any of the squeeze out, or just wipe it off the best you can after it's assembled and the glue is still wet. Once we got one short side assembled, we're gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side, grabbing 3 of those 17-inch side panels, applying plenty of glue to both inner ledges, lining up the top board first, making sure that it's flush, and then adding 4 1-inch brad nails per board. Since we are working with these cedar fence pickets, they are gonna have a bit of cupping, some bowing. They're not perfectly straight boards. I'm not spending any time, jointing them or running them through a planer. So you are gonna have some gaps here and there. Don't worry about it. This is why I like to add extra nails and glue. Any part that's going to be seen on the outside, I just try to pay a little extra attention to make sure that it's flush and lined up. All right, so now that we have all 4 sides attached to the leg pieces, we're gonna take a quick trip back to the miter saw and cut 2 supporting ledge pieces for inside the box at 54 inches. We're gonna glue 1 to each side of the long side of the inside of the box. Hopefully that made sense. We're gonna use plenty of glue and plenty of nails on this. We definitely want this to be a strong piece of the box. This is what's gonna be holding most of the weight of all of the dirt in the plants. I'm gonna center it on the inside of the box, make sure it's flush to that bottom edge, nail it down, and then we're gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Just make sure that ledge piece is flush with that bottom edge. And I went a little crazy with the nails here. Whoa, calm down. Okay, take it easy. You don't have to use as many nails as I did here, but I just wanted to make sure there was no chance that this bottom was gonna fall out after I filled it full of dirt and plants. So while I let my nail gun cool down and stop smoking, I'm gonna do a dry fit here and just put the remaining 10 17-inch bottom pieces. They should all line up like this, but that last piece is not gonna fit. So take that measurement, go over to your table saw, you're gonna rip it down, and then it should fit just like that. So now that we've checked to make sure they all fit, we're gonna take them all out and run a good amount of glue down both inner ledge supports of this box. And then you guessed it, we're gonna throw them all right back in and use 3 nails per board on the bottom. I forgot to record this, but before I nail the bottom down, I do take a speed square out and just check a couple of the corners of the box to make sure they're right at 90 degrees. Get those things lined up, and then I nail everything in place. My box is blowing out just slightly, so what I did was push in the center and nail that center board first on both sides so that I would hold them in place. Then I went around the whole box and nailed the rest of them in. So now it's time to get those top trim pieces cut. I'm gonna measure from the furthest corner to the furthest corner of the box. This is gonna be the measurement for the long trim piece. I like to do each one at a time so I get a really good fit. Because these boards aren't perfect, you're not gonna have exact measurements on both sides most times. So I'll cut one end off to get my starting point, and then I like to measure left to right. This allows me to not have to move the miter saw back and forth. I'm gonna set it to 45 degrees, make my cut, then I'll take it over to the box, check to see if it fits, and then do that for all 4 trim pieces. And once I've got all my top trim pieces cut, I'm gonna run glue around the entire box, line all the trim pieces up, and use brad nails to nail everything down. I'll nail all the corners down first, but then I'll go around the entire top of the box and place a brad nail about every 4 to 5 inches to make sure the entire top trim piece is nice and secure. And if you opted to paint the legs and trim piece, right now is when I go around and just do any touch-ups, paint over any squeeze out, and then also we did have to cut into the trim pieces after they were painted, so you do have some seams at the top where you can see unpainted wood. So I just go over and make sure all that's covered up here. To make sure this planter box has sufficient water drainage, I take a 3/8 inch drill bit and make 10 to 12 holes evenly spaced along the bottom. I was also unaware of all the glue that was dripping down the side of my box while it was still wet. If I had seen this, I would have wiped it up while it was wet, but it got by me. So now I'm just taking some sandpaper and a screwdriver and a pocket knife to try and get it off the side of the box. All right, with the box construction complete, we're gonna move on to the trellis part now. So you're gonna take one of those scraps when you cut the long sides of the box, and we're gonna set the table saw to 1 3/4 inch. And we're gonna rip this scrap piece twice. We're gonna cut them down to 13 inches. These are gonna be the spacers that go on the inside back of the box, and we're going to attach the trellis to these. These are gonna be hidden under the dirt. You don't have to worry about them being too precise. We're gonna use plenty of glue and nails on these. We're gonna leave a little gap on the inside corner there. That way the vertical trellis piece can attach to as much of the vertical spacer we're installing here. With the spacers installed, I'm going to take the last 3 1 3/4 pieces that we have for the trellis, and I'm going to cut off the factory edge, measure to 70 inches, and cut them down. And now I'm going to take my measurement to cut the horizontal trellis pieces. So I'm going to measure the inside trim to the inside trim, and then I'm going to take the 1.5 inch strip and cut it down to whatever that measurement is. I want this to be a perfect fit, so I always wait to measure this and cut these until the box is completely assembled. I'm going to do the exact same thing for these 5/8 inch strips that we cut earlier. I'm going to cut off that factory edge, get a good measurement, and then cut all these down to size. So now that I have all of my trellis pieces cut to length, I'm going to lay out my long 70-inch vertical trellis pieces. Hopefully this is all making sense. And I'm going to take that 1.5 inch top horizontal trellis piece and fasten it to the top. I'm going to line up the corner, make sure it's flush. I'm going to add some wood glue and only 1 brad nail right now. I'll add more nails to secure this later, but right now I want to be able to adjust it as I add my second 5/8 inch piece. That way I'll be able to get a good 90-degree angle and everything will be lined up. To get that middle vertical trellis piece centered, I'm just going to take my tape measure here, mark the middle, and then use glue and 1 brad nail to tack it in. Going to do the exact same thing on the far left side here, add some glue, line it up, and add a brad nail. Now moving on to the 5/8 inch strips all the way down the trellis. I wanted these spaced about 9 inches apart, so I cut a piece of scrap to 8 3/4 inch. This will roughly get each piece to 9 inches on center. I'm going to take that scrap piece, make sure the 5/8 inch piece is flush against the outside, and then I use my speed square to make sure I got a good 90-degree angle, add some wood glue, and I use 2 nails to secure it. Same thing in the middle here, I'll use my tape measure and my speed square to make sure everything is squared and lined up. Use the spacer block, add some glue, and 2 brad nails. Once we get the far left side on the first 5/8 inch strip done, everything up top is going to be unable to move for that point, so you can add more nails to the top, making sure everything is secure. I'm now going to repeat that exact same process and work my way down the trellis with the rest of the 5/8 inch horizontal trellis pieces. Whew, a lot of vertical and horizontal measurements, all sorts of crazy stuff in this video. But hey, it's looking good. We're almost done. So now at this point, our trellis should look something like this. Not too shabby, right? So now we're gonna climb up it and check to see what the weight capacity of this thing is. Nope, just kidding. I got you guys for a second, didn't I? We're actually gonna take that box that we built just a little bit ago. Remember that one? Yeah, we're gonna pull that one out now, and we're going to put the trellis inside of it and check our fit. And look at that. I love it when things go according to plan. We got a perfect fit. So now is the time to jump on in that box and climb up to check the weight capacity. No, I'm kidding again. Hop on down. So now it's time to attach the trellis to the spacers inside of the box. So we're going to add plenty of glue and nails and have at it. Put as many nails as you want inside of that. It's all going to be covered up with dirt, so I wouldn't worry about how it looks too much. You still want it to look nice, especially if you're going to sell this to other people. So keep that in mind. So in case there was any doubt about how strong this box was, I weigh about 175 pounds or so. So I'm jumping around on this thing and it's doing just fine. No creaking or cracking. But just to amp it up a little bit, I'm going to take 2 of these 60-pound dumbbells, try to finagle my way in here. So this is just about 300 pounds, concentrated on one part of the box. If you have a bunch of dirt and flowers and stuff in here, it's going to be spread out over the whole thing. And it's holding up just fine. No bending or bowing, creaking, cracking. It's all good to go. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I can do more videos just like this. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see me build next. If you guys like this video, I bet you'll like this one over here. So you guys go watch that one while I go ahead and finish my nap inside of this tomato coffin. I mean, tomato raised garden bed with a trellis, not a coffin.